Daddy Longneck Gang, and shout out to Red Light Crew. Consists of Wayne, like Kanye, Red Milk, and the Squirrel. Keep it litty like a fucking titty. 2019.
Hey, you're one of 12 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
Real Life Podcast, what number are we at? 190.
115.
15, that can't be right.
Yes, sir.
15 since when?
115 since whenever.
115.
Since 114.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. I heard just 15.
I got a new pull from Daddy Longneck there. I heard he used the word consists. He's articulate.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was probably
he's a
the thing
wordsmith.
Jared sent over. For $30, you can make Daddy Longneck say whatever you want.
Oh, amazing.
Cameo.com. Very exciting day on the Real Life Podcast today.
Yes.
We have real celebrity in the house today, boys. Somebody who's gone out, represented Edmonton on the national stage, had a good time, fought, battled, was in the penthouse one day, was out of the house the next.
Yeah, real D-list celebrity.
Yeah. Chelsea Bird in the house. Edmonton native, not really, but local. Just got off of Big Brother Canada.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Season 7. Welcome.
Thanks.
Welcome to the show. So talk to us here now. For people who are not listening, you went on Big Brother.
Yeah.
The show started in early March.
Yeah. So the concept is a bunch of strangers living in a house together, and then every week somebody gets voted out. I got voted out the 4th week, and so now here I am back in the real world.
Well, that's a bit of a summary. Bag milk. You want to inject a little color into what happened in the house?
Turmoil,
Yeah.
backstabbing,
Yeah.
shenanigans, creepiness,
Yes.
alliances turned sour.
Yep.
Everything in between.
That's pretty much how it goes. It's a weird, crazy environment to be in. It's weird being back in the real world because you're completely cut off. So it's weird being back and like, I feel like I've woken up from a dream. I feel like I've woken up from a really vivid dream. I spent 27 days in the house, and 27 days in there is like, it's a fucking lifetime. It feels like it was endless in there.
So before,
I can swear on here, right?
Oh, yeah, swear all you want.
It's real life.
Jay, throw it a fuck.
You know what? I'm actually trying to curb my fucks
Oh, yeah.
because it's I
Jay's
guess
a
on
sailor.
per capita basis or whatever in terms of probably 1 out of 10 words is the F word.
We're starting to get traction with religious people, Chelsea. So
Yeah,
we gotta really tone the fuck
So
down.
Okay.
maybe 1 out of 100 for me. I'm trying to
Yeah.
stretch it out. So I'm trying to be conscious, but I'll drop some F bombs.
That's all
We
right.
can talk about Bob Nicholson if we need to get his quote up.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Geez, that's the one that set me off.
So you go into the house, week 3. You win head of household
Yes.
with an interesting competition about true falses,
Yeah.
right? And so you win, you get the true celebration, you're in charge. Was it too early in the show to be able to be in charge of the house?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I went in with a strategy that I think most people do, where you kind of want to lay low for as long as you possibly can before you reveal your cards and show people that maybe you're a strong player or that you're smart. And so I didn't really want to empower that first week, but at that point in the game, it was the house the week before had a tie vote with the people that were being evicted.
Which is very rare.
So the
right?
house was really, it was super rare
Super
that
rare.
early on, rare in general in the game. And so the house was really splitting into 2. And so at that point for my game, I wanted to protect my people. So I was glad that I won power for the people that I was working with. But for my personal game, it was way too early. And I think that's basically what got me out, is I showed that I was strong, and it scared the boys who had an alliance. And so I went from being in charge the 1 week to being on block and the target the next week, and then out the door.
So what led? Because like obviously you win HOH, great, but
Yeah.
did you have were you divided amongst the house? Like you had your people you wanted to protect, but were you friends with everyone in the house?
Yeah, like yes, yeah. I was friends with everybody in the house, but I knew the people that I wanted to work with, and I was I was a little bit too stubborn with the people that I wanted to work with. I didn't really want to open up to the others because I didn't really feel a natural connection with them, and I thought if you don't naturally connect with somebody, how are you going to work with them? Because how can you ever really trust them? So for me, my options were these are my people. I want to do whatever I can to protect them for as long as I can, and then after that point, then I'll adapt and maybe kind of rearrange and realign. But I wasn't really too open to it at that point.
It reminded me of the summer when Kim Campbell was prime minister. Remember that?
Yeah,
She was like in charge, and we're like, that's the prime minister. And then like an hour later, you're like, what the hell happened to Kim Campbell?
Yeah.
Like, oh no, she's not prime minister anymore.
Yeah,
What
it-
happened?
It felt like that. It really felt like that. And like going from being in charge the 1 week to being on the block the next week, like the perspective that I gained in those moments, it was crazy. Like everybody is up your ass wanting to talk game with you when you're HOH. And then the next week, like the house has a habit of really isolating the person that's on the block, and that's the target because nobody wants to be associated with the person that's out the door, right? They could be revealing a bunch of secrets, and like, why would you associate with somebody that's leaving anyways, right? It's not good for your game. So to go from being in charge and everybody like, I want to go all the way with you. We could go really far in this game to the next week where like nobody's talking game to you at all. It's really, really weird.
It's cutthroat.
It's super cutthroat. Yeah.
And they don't hide it. Like they just like, okay, you're on the outs, and they just completely turn their backs to you.
Yeah. And like I knew because of the person I was up against, I knew that I was for sure the target. So it felt hopeless. And so for me to campaign, I was like, it was so hard for me to like beg for my life in the game. And like it's hard to play nice with people that want to vote you out. Like it's a strange environment to like be fake nice with these people, but know that they want you to leave. And they don't want you to leave because they don't like you. They want you to leave because it's best for their game. But it's still that feeling of like, nobody wants me here, so fuck you guys. I don't want to hang out.
It's a super, super, super weird experiment, right? And like imagine there's 2, 4, 6 of us in the house. Or we're in this room. There's like a dynamic. We're all friends and one cup of coffee or whatever it is. Imagine every hour we had to vote one person out. Like immediately you just start looking around, everybody like, you better step to me, Evan.
I'm looking at Evan. He's the new guy.
Young guy in here. He's getting voted the fuck out, right? This guy's got to go. I think what happened, Chalice, is that you went in, you won HOH, you conducted a series of business meetings with every single person in the house, like a Kim Campbell would. And then you found out that there was a boys' alliance.
Yeah.
And other girls knew in the house, but they were like, I don't know, tee-hee. And you found it, you were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then you tried to rally a girls' alliance, and they all went and ratted you out to the guys.
Yeah. Yeah. The girls really didn't, they were kind of in denial, didn't really want to stand up to the guys, didn't really want to admit that there was something bigger going on. And so I knew from my nomination, unless I won the power of veto and took myself off, that I knew that I was going home. It was a certainty. But
your alliances were a bunch of flakes.
But at that point too in the game, I don't blame them for not wanting to vote to keep me or fight to
Fuck
keep
that
me.
shit. You only needed 2 extra votes.
But I needed 5 in total, right? So I needed 3.
4, so you had 3, and then you just needed 2.
No, because the one person was on the block with me. So I had 2. I would have had 2 votes, and then I needed to get 3. And no one wants to go against the House majority. Nobody wants to like show their cards and reveal who they're working with, because that's risky for their game so early on. So honestly, though, like I'm not unhappy about it. Like I'm disappointed that I didn't play further because I love the game, and it's so cool to get to play, especially as someone who's watched it for a long time. But I was really struggling with like, what kind of person is this going to make me? Like, what am I really learning in here? Like, I know it's not real life, but it's still...
The podcast brought to you by Japa Equipment.
Beautiful. Well done.
Yeah.
It's not real life, but it is a game, but you're still playing with real human beings' emotions, right? And like, I think I left at the point where like I was already getting to the point where like it was testing my morals in a way that made me feel really uncomfortable. And like, now that I've been in there, I keep wondering like, does a good person win this game? Like you justify your actions in the game. You justify like lying and manipulating and being shady because you're playing a game. But ultimately, like what skills are you learning on the outside of that? Like, I don't know. I think for me, I'm happy that I went and did it. And 27 days in there taught me a lot. It was an amazing experience, but I don't think that I would do it any differently.
Is it weird going through your life just lying for a month straight?
Yeah, it is really weird. Yeah, it's really, because it's not I think I'm like naturally really trusting. So I was like really in denial that people were maybe like lying to my face and manipulating me.
Like Adam. Adam was lying to you.
I know he was. But I refused to believe it.
Adam was lying to you all the time because you live in a space land where no one's lying.
I know.
But it's tough because exactly that. Like it starts altering who you are, because you don't know what do you believe? Like, what do you believe, and what do you believe you are? Because you're all of a sudden in this mode, this competition mode that involves, maybe not having to be nice to certain people, how to be cutthroat, have to sewer people just to try to win a game. And then you start kind of losing touch with who you really are and what elements of those are actually you. Yeah.
I think too, like, had I gone further, because for me, like the connections were really real with those people in there. Like you become fast friends. And
it's like 27 days of just 24/7. Like,
with nothing else to do.
5 years of normal outside time, right?
Yeah.
So I think had I gone further, like the betrayal would have hurt a lot more. And like, I think it would have had a negative impact on me. Like, I wonder how they're going to come out. I wonder how people that go all the way come out and not have it affect them negatively. Yes, it's a game, but it's still relationships that are real, that are backstabbing you. It's weird. It's very weird.
Yeah, it's a weird vacuum. So 27 days, Canada, I guess if you don't subscribe to the live feeds, only get to see about 6 hours of those 27 days or whatever works out to. Like, what is the day in the life of the Big Brother house outside of like just the competitions?
It's there's a lot of nothing. And like I read before going into that there was going to be a lot of downtime, but I totally took that for granted how much there is. Like it's crazy making downtime. You have nothing to do but like wander from room to room and talk game with people and like talk about their lives. So in that sense, you do really connect with people because there's nothing else to distract you. So you wake up, you know, you eat breakfast, you hang out, you wander into the backyard. Maybe you work out. Maybe you don't. Maybe the backyard's closed off that day.
Were you
wander
working
back
out?
in the house? No, I didn't work out.
Nice.
No. But you just hang out. You can't nap. You're not allowed to nap. So you sleep maybe like for 4 hours a night, and then you're not allowed to rest.
What?
Everything in there is designed to be really uncomfortable. Like it's designed to really
There's
test
a lot
you.
of like little things they do to fuck with you.
Yeah.
So that in aggregate, it makes you loopy.
So like the bedrooms are like boiling hot. So like at night you go to bed, you're sweating, you're already worked up, your mind's racing, so you don't sleep. And then in the daytime, they're kept really hot too to keep you out of there, to like keep you guys all kind of like in one area and make
You were saying you're
gossip really obvious.
chronically short of food.
Yeah, you run out of
What?
food. Yeah, you run out of food.
Man, I couldn't last Big Brother. I'd be hangry all the time.
This is what happens.
Yes.
I'm
Bros
delusional.
get
And
angry.
that's exactly it. Like it's designed to be like that, right? So that you don't, so that you lose yourself a little bit and you start getting frustrated and getting angry at people and getting testy, right? It causes the drama.
Wow.
So yeah, like lots of little things like that make it a challenge that you don't expect.
I watch the feeds 23 and a half hours a day. And what I found shocking was the amount of times that they like cut in and tell you to shut up.
Oh yeah,
If
yeah.
you talk about a brand, like I like M&M's, don't talk about that. I like Coldplay, don't talk about that. You ever see The Simpsons? Don't talk about that. Like they just drive you into talking about the game 24 hours a day.
Pretty global programming.
Nothing. Yeah. I like New Amsterdam. Not today, you don't.
Yeah, you can talk about sponsors all you want, but yeah, you get in trouble. You get in trouble a lot. You can't talk about you can't. I mean, you can't talk about anything about the outside world.
Can't
really.
write, can't read. Somebody was writing on the counter with their finger and they got in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. But because of all that downtime and because of the fact that you're disconnected, like you really do get to know each other. Like I think I spent like in 27 days, the time that I spent with all those people is more than I probably spend with my best friends in like a year. It's just concentrated time with people with no distraction. And there's no like, how many times are you having a conversation with somebody and you're like thinking about like what excuse you can use to make your exit because you're done with it,
Yeah.
right? That doesn't happen in the
The
house. You have
awkward,
nowhere
like,
to go, right?
half-triggered walk away.
Yeah, you're
But
like, well, I guess I better walk to the other room.
you have
like,
nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And this is the only thing you can do anyways.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you just really get to know people and like make time for them. And so for that, like it's really kind of shown me like, it's like revealed to me like how we take each other for granted in a big way, right? You don't make time for people like you do unless you're forced into it in an environment where there's nothing else to do but talk to people.
So what on that note, sort of like, so you go in and you had some extended time. You don't just go right into the house. Like there's like a whole dance you have to go through.
Yeah.
So for 39 days, you were unplugged.
Yeah.
No phone,
No phone.
no news,
No, nothing.
television,
No.
newspaper,
Mm-mm.
faxes,
No.
carrier pigeon.
No.
Nothing.
No, nothing.
Telegrams, singing telegrams?
Nothing.
Couldn't
No.
get a singing
Shockingly,
telegram.
no.
Horrible life, no
Yeah.
singing telegrams. What's it like? Like, I think in 2019, people who aren't connected to anything for 49 days are either like in a medically induced coma or dead.
Yeah.
Even people on death row get to do that weird news thing you see in jail documentaries where they put news on a string and like throw it, to another
Oh
cell.
yeah, kiting.
Kiting, that's
Yeah.
the one, Bag Milk.
Thank you.
What's it like being unplugged?
It's weird. I mean, in that environment, like, you're not supposed to have your phone, so you don't really miss it. But like it, oh my God, I don't, it's like nothing I've ever experienced before. I've never in my life been more present than I was in the house. And I don't even know if I really like knew what it meant to be present. Like, other than to do that, right?
That's like hippie shit I read on Instagram.
Yeah.
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 Be present. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. And you
like,
tell yourself, right, that you're like, I should probably give my phone a break, or I should like have those apps that tell me how much usage how much social media usage I have in a day, right? And like maybe I should monitor that. But like, you don't actually do that. Like, my phone had to get forcibly removed from me for me to not check it and for me to like lose those habits. And those habits die hard. I would change my battery pack, and I would put the battery in, and like the light would come on, and I would wait to get a text message, just because it's such a habit. Like, we're so addicted. So I feel like being disconnected really taught me a lot about the way that I use my phone and the way that people do. I don't know that it's going to change anything, because I think we live in a world right now where we kind of have to have it and we're connected. But it was really weird to not have that option to check in. But I didn't necessarily miss it. There wasn't anything There wasn't, I didn't feel like I wanted to check back in with the world. I wanted to know what people were thinking about me in the game in that sense. Like when you use social media, you're like, you're using it because you want to see what people think of you. Right. And so like to know that you're being watched, like I wanted that. I craved that a little bit, but I didn't really miss it. I didn't really miss my phone.
I didn't really miss the rest of the world.
But it took some time to get to that point, though.
Yeah, but it's because you're so focused, right? You're so focused on the game, and because everything is like game 24/7. Like you're not thinking. You it's hard. You have to like try to take yourself out of it and like try to think about the real world in a sense. Does that make sense?
No, totally.
So yeah, it was weird.
And like, what's the coming out process like? How's that been for you?
It honestly feels like the only thing I compare it to is like, it feels like waking up from a dream. It feels like waking up from a really vivid dream. Like I come out and I feel like no time has passed. Like it's very odd. The pace of the world is so strange compared to the pace in the house. And like I said, like the days in there are endless. And so it feels like I lived this whole big experience and like I spent this whole lifetime in there. And yet I come out and like in real people time, like a month, 27 days really isn't that long. Not that much really changes. So it feels like nothing has really changed and nothing has really happened in the real world. But yet I've had this like crazy experience and like this weird perspective.
Have you seen the movie Castaway?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he gets off the island finally and he's on the FedEx jet?
Yeah.
And they give him a drink with ice in it?
Yeah.
Remember? And he's like, looking,
yeah.
Holy
And he
fuck,
thinks it's super
ice
weird.
cubes, right?
Yeah.
Like unimaginable luxury.
Yeah.
Right? Was there anything like that you kind of felt? Like, I would say it's like a similar experience in some regards. Like
maybe be able to sleep for 8 hours finally.
Yeah. Like being like, I'm an adult. So like putting myself to bed when I want and like waking up when I want, like that is nice. That's really nice to have. Going to a restaurant, being able to order things, being able to drink of like, and not
no
have to,
booze
like,
in the house.
They gave us booze 2 times. And so, but it's like little portions, like it's like half a cup of beer. Like you don't want to be a dick that has a full one because then people are going to target you, right? So you're always trying to like be on your best behavior in that sense. So, so that's nice being able to like order alcohol and like be a real person again. But it's like, I mean, coming out of it it's like surprisingly not that much of an adjustment. It actually feels pretty normal to check back in. It just feels like I've had this weird experience that no one else can relate to. But like here I am going about my daily life, like right back into it, like nothing has even changed.
What's the first thing that you kind of took care of when you got out to the real world? When you got your phone back, fired that baby up, what's the first thing you did?
Bag milk. That's what.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What does that mean?
Nothing.
What's that wink mean?
We're winking.
I'm kind of like dipping my toe in slowly. So like I caught up with like texts from people. And then like,
I would assume your phone would have just blown up.
Yeah, it did. And so like I kind of like those interactions I kind of took care of the most. And then like sort of dipped my toe into Instagram and like social just a little bit.
Your social's blowing up right now.
But I think so.
Oh no, it is.
But I can't, I'm like taking it slowly because it's overwhelming, right? Because I don't know, like I still have only seen I've only watched a little bit of the show. So for me, it's like, okay, what have people seen? Like what are people's perceptions of me? Right. So I'm like kind of like allowing myself to see a little bit at a time so that I can kind of understand what everybody else thinks that they understand about what they've seen, about what I've done. But I'm just like taking it kind of easy.
Well, I watched it and I know that you came off like a boss.
Thanks.
Right? Nothing bad happened.
Thanks.
There's nobody like, oh, that chick, she did this or that and the other. I think you went in, you looked strong. You won a competition.
Thanks.
You told the boys they were a bunch of pussies.
They were.
They voted
They
you
are.
out. Welcome home. I mean, it really was like for only being there for 4 weeks, I think you did a really good job.
Yeah, I think if I hadn't won HOH, like if I hadn't won anything and then I got voted out, then I would have felt like I didn't even really get a chance to play. But because I got to do that, it was a very satisfying experience for me. I was like, okay, cool. Like I was seen as a target. That's kind of flattering. So whatever. It was like a very well-rounded experience. And like I said, now, I got out in the nick of time, I think, for me, that like I didn't really have to test my morals to the point that like it would have been like a detriment to me as a human moving forward. And like I thought too in the house, I was like, I really want to make it to jury, right? So you make it to a certain point and then you're in sequester and then you pick the winner. And I really wanted to get to that point, but I'm actually glad now that I didn't, because now like I can answer those questions to myself of like, what have people seen? What do people think they saw? What do people think they understood? And like, I can watch the show and now I can watch it along as it's happening live. Whereas like, if I were in that position, I wouldn't be able to answer those questions for myself. I would have to like sit there in sequester and wait until the thing runs out before I could have any kind of perception of what the show actually looked like.
I think being in jury would be more boring than being in the house.
Yeah,
You
I
can't
mean,
play shit.
yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit more freeing.
Probably
right?
more
Because,
food,
yeah,
more sleep.
more food. You get alcohol in there too, so like there's that. You can pass the time, and like you have the
You
freedom.
can pass the time drunk off your tits. Well,
I feel like we need to get you a beer or something.
these days are flying by.
I mean, I guess in there because you're not thinking about the fact that you're like everything you're saying is kind of through the filter of knowing that it's being filmed, right? So maybe in that sense, it's more of like a vacation. But I mean, hopefully you're in there with people that you liked in the house because otherwise it would feel like you're trapped in there, right?
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with Chelsea Bird. We're not done yet. Real life podcast back after this.
Have you got holes to dig, earth to pack, and roads to build? Then you need to call Japa Machinery Group. Does your equipment need a service? You can't fix stupid, but here at Japa Machinery Group, we can fix everything else. With a full range of parts to keep your equipment running smoothly. Japa Machinery Group is a family-operated and Alberta-grown business. Here to help build a bigger and better Western Canada. Give us a call or visit us at japamachinery.com. Japa Machinery Group. Join the family.
Noopsy Brown coming to town.
Yeah, voice of Japa.
Should we get him on the real life?
Fucking right.
Is he coming back?
Hey, I'm swearing again. There we go.
There you go.
There you
You're
go.
back. Oh, the best. The best. Real life. We're sitting here. Big Brother Canada 7 contestant / evictee / actual winner, Chelsea Bird. Bag milk. Thoughts?
Yeah, I've got a thought.
Okay.
What's going on here? Wanye, why do you know so much about what's going on? I feel like you've been watching the feeds a whole lot.
I'm
There's
just
just
a
a
Big
whole
Brother-
lot of mystery going on, and I have no
I'm
idea
a Big
why.
Brother fan. I watched Big Brother Poland in February like we all do.
That's a big deal, I guess, that it came back in Poland.
Huge.
Yeah.
There's a Big Brother community. I know too much about Big Brother.
All I know is that for 27 days, I was getting Big Brother updates from you and nothing from Instagram about Daddy Longneck, Wide Neck's arrest, Lil Tay's possible freedom.
Yeah, it really became
Nothing.
your life, hey?
Nothing.
Yeah, no, it wasn't good.
I think you could call that being like a really supportive boyfriend.
Boyfriend.
What?
Oh. Real life is revealed.
That's,
Yeah.
what, I,
Goodness
that's what I would
gracious.
call that.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I suppose. Suppose I am.
Is this a showmance?
No, this
This
is
is
a
a
real
real
life
man.
man.
Oh,
It's a real
romance.
man.
It's a bromance.
Let's
Bag
keep
milk.
talking about this one. He's
Yeah, I'm gonna like.
uncomfortable.
I'm
I
super
know, I
comfortable.
can tell.
Okay,
So-
Floor it, bag milk. Let's
don't
get
like
him.
it.
We got him right
I don't
now.
How
like it.
often did this come up in the house, Chels? Because I assume that everybody kind of goes and mingles and learns each other's statuses outside. How often did Wanye come up in the house?
I tried to keep it kind of vague because I was wondering if that would maybe help my game.
Yeah.
It's a game.
Plus, you're like a lesbian, right?
But ouch. No, I thought
That's what I heard. I learned it on the
someone.
feeds.
But I mean, it did. It kind of like came out towards the end too. There was a couple of conversations where people were talking about love and feelings and their partners, and yeah. And I talked about mine. I just didn't name his name. I just didn't say Wanye.
That'd be weird if you said that, though.
Yeah, it would.
That'd be great if
It's
you
like,
said
it's like a
Wanye.
third level of Inception. Actually, would have been.
Yeah, that would have been great.
I want to know about the feeds also, because one night Wanye and I were texting about the feeds. He's like, "Oh, check these out. Check out what's going on." So I throw them on. Personally, I thought I just can't imagine anybody spending the bulk of their time watching this.
Yeah, it was
Just
weird.
because it's like you guys are just literally sitting there having conversations that could be mundane. They could be about the game. They could just, the cameras could just go down because you're talking about something you're not supposed to
Yeah.
or whatever. What was that like, just kind of knowing at any point in time we could have checked in on you?
Like for me, I really erred on the side of like, they're probably not watching me. I'm being very boring.
Oh, I was
These
watching.
people are annoying to me today. I don't feel like talking to any of them. So like, I'm not going to try that hard. Like I honestly kept telling myself that people probably weren't watching. And if I thought anybody was watching, I was like, it's probably just weirdos. Like,
And
or
they are.
or they probably just
Sold.
or they probably just have
Three
them on.
hands
we
went
are.
up in this
Hello.
room.
Yep.
Or I was like, people probably just have them on kind of in the background as like background noise, right? And there's no one that's actually like, really watching this.
When
So
I
that's
was
really
watching,
weird for me.
Just
to
like
know.
no one's listening to this.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's listening to this.
when I was watching, I was aggressively switching back and forth between cameras. I found myself wasting 15 minutes of my life watching Dane just staring off into space on his bed for some reason, but it was an option that I had. Wanye, I want to know why and how and what you thought about the feeds and just kind of checking in on misses from time to time.
Yeah, tell me that.
It was fucked up, man. Like, I'm fairly neurotic. I don't know if you're familiar with this whole thing, Bag Milk. I'm not calm by any stretch. And I love Big Brother. I mean, how long have we been talking about Big Brother? You know,
Yeah.
years, right? Jay, we used to watch Big Brother back to like the O's.
Yeah.
Right. So like for my girlfriend to be on like my favorite show, like you had my undivided attention. Right. And watching the feeds is weird, man, because like, especially with you, right, being who you are and whatnot, like you sitting in a chair and eating a muffin, they'd just be like, yep, this is what we're going with for 20 minutes. And I'm like, I'm in. This is great. This is fucking awesome.
See, that's so they tell us that there's only 4 cameras that are the live feeds, right? So like out of all the cameras in the house, only 4 of them are live feeds. So it's easy to tell yourself like, no one's seeing this. I would never have ever thought that would ever
more
make
than 4.
No, there's 4 cameras.
There's 4, yeah.
But they'll switch around between like all the different cameras in the house. There's 4 feeds.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Right. But it's really weird.
Super weird.
And I think that like when you're watching somebody that you're like really emotionally invested in, it'd be like being like Connor's dad watching Connor playing hockey night. You're like, that motherfucker slashed my boy, right? Like that's how I felt.
Yeah.
When the one lady got evicted, I like looked her address up and shit. And I'm like, if Kaylin drags you in this fucking eviction ceremony, I swear to God, when she gets out, her credit rating will be 0. And I'm like, whoa, calm down, man. This is just a game. I'm like, but is it a game? She might go personal, right? So I had like a really hard time. Like, it's really weird that like real life, not the podcast brought to you by Jap Equipment, like jumped into the TV.
Yeah.
Right. And then like when you came out, I was like, this is even weirder.
Yeah, because I'm like the girl from the TV.
And I got to like tell her how the whole show went down. Hey, Magmo?
Yeah.
Like, Adam was fucking playing you since day one. You're like, what? And I'm like, here's how it happened. But the fact that I knew so much, I think was like quasi helpful.
Absolutely. It's a weird position to like put your partner in, to be like, I'm going to go do this thing and I'm going to disappear off the face of the earth. And you just have to watch along. And I didn't know if he was watching. I didn't know what you were seeing.
Yeah.
But
did you think I was going to watch?
I thought you were going to watch the show. I wasn't sure if you were really going to watch the feeds.
Because I was talking all the time.
I didn't think he was going to watch.
Buddy, I was getting blown up.
I know. And
That's what made me do it, right?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't going to watch the feeds, right? Because I don't think it's like healthy for my own mental state, which is agitated to begin with.
Right.
To
I
like
would
sit
assume the
and
same.
stare and watch you 24/7. But I was getting so many people like DMing me
Yeah.
and texting me and all that shit that I was like, well, I might as well watch it and see it myself than get shit third hand from people, especially online, right? Like
Yeah.
it was a weird
Yes.
position to be in, right? Because like obviously you're like a sexy lady and people are shooting their shots with you on both sides of the gender fence, and like that's fine. But like when people are telling you the highlights that they see, they don't have necessarily your or my best interest at heart.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And they're like, check out what this chick's doing. Check that out. Check this dude shooting his shot and check that. I'm like, fucking hell.
Well, especially on Twitter, it was just a cesspool of just out of context quotes that were inaccurate and
there's
just
like
super
websites
strange.
that just make like basically like the Oilers Nation of Big Brother fan fiction. And they write like what they wish happened.
I don't
worry.
wanna read that
Don't
stuff.
go look at it.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It's fine.
Doesn't
But, like,
exist.
If you're not watching it yourself to know what's true and what's false, you'll never know.
Yeah. And I will say, like, it's extremely helpful for me because coming out, like, you have to talk about it. It's like, it was my life for the last month, right? And it was I was so focused on it that, like, I have to be able to discuss it. So to be able to talk about it with you and you're not like, what does that mean? Like,
Is that how I sound?
Yeah, most of the time. It's
Fairly
really
accurate.
helpful. It's really,
it's
really
all fine.
helpful.
I read about it, right? Like I read about, there was other people that had written some stuff about like what to do when someone comes off Big Brother. Right. And it said like it's going to take them about 7 to 10 days of like when they first get out, it's going to be super weird because they're going to like mentally, and especially like not going into jury, right? The fact that the game is still going.
Yeah.
Right. But when they get out, it's going to be like day one, and all they're going to think about is the game. And day two, it's going to be 90% game and 80% game and 70% game. And like you keep saying like, sorry, I just keep talking about it. But I'm like, that's all I've been watching too, man. Don't worry about that. I'm with you.
And like the second night, remember, I was like, I just can't stop thinking about the game. I just want to talk game. It's all I can do. It's all I can think about.
One of us woke up in the middle of the night talking in her sleep bag milk and goes, hey, Wanye, are you playing me? I'm like, what the fuck? What am I on Big Brother? No, I'm not playing
I was
you.
like half dreaming
back
and
to
I thought
sleep.
we were playing the game. And I was like, maybe he's lying about everything. It's fucking weird.
Stands to reason that sounds like me.
What was one of the weirdest things that you got from Wanye coming out of the house with like maybe about alliances or people that you thought you were trusting? What was kind of one of the weirdest bits of information you got from him?
That Adam was playing me. That was kind of a big surprise. I thought that Adam was really trying to play both sides more. I didn't realize he was throwing me under the bus hard.
It's weird, right? You don't know what you don't know. And it's easy for
Yeah.
us to sit on the quad cams and look at all four things,
Yeah.
right? And be like, you fool, how couldn't you see that? But
For
like,
sure. And
if Dane's super nice to you every time he sees you.
Yeah.
And then when the door shuts, that was something she saw,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
and
yeah.
then sees Dane be like, go cry somewhere else. You were like, what the fuck? I thought
Yeah.
this guy was my friend, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. And I've watched it as a fan for so long too, right? That like I think the same thing when I'm watching, like, how are you so dumb? How do you not see this? It's so obviously in front of you, right? But that's the nature of the game. People are lying to your face. Like learning about Kira throwing me under the bus too. Like I thought I was using Kira. I thought that was I didn't realize they were throwing me under the bus as much as they were. So that was kind of a surprise. the fact that the Pretty Boys Alliance was called the Pretty Boys Alliance was
original.
douchebags.
That was great telling that. Too. There's a 4-man alliance since day one.
Yeah.
And it's called the Pretty Boys. She's like, that's why they keep calling themselves peanut butter.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good.
Like getting an outsider's perspective on the people in the house that I had my unique perspective on was interesting.
I think, though, and we were talking about this earlier, like, there's very little lessons you can learn from Big Brother because there's so many weird constraints built into your reality, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, if you ever get locked in a house with 15 other people for some reason, you got to start voting people out. Adam can't be trusted. Like, do you think that it takes who you are and amplifies it, or do you think it goes in and actually changes who you are?
I think it takes the worst things about you and amplifies those things. I think it has to.
Out of necessity.
Because that's the nature of the game. Like, how far are you willing to compromise your real life morals in a game to win $100,000, right? Like, how far are you willing, like, how much can you look at people like they're pawns to step on them to get to the prize, right? So I think it takes those things that most people try and like work on in themselves and like bury deep inside themselves, and it brings those things to light. And like, are you a good manipulator? Are you a good liar? Can you use that? Are you willing to use that? Like, I think it brings all those things to the surface a little bit.
One thing I did, Bag Milk,
Go
was
ahead.
that I went on the feeds that were like the recorded feeds you can find online and watched Chelsea makes true statements and false statements. And now I've like CIA analyzed what she does when she lies. And so now I know her tells.
Yeah.
And she's like, that's not fair. You have too much information about me. I'm like, well, that's Big Brother.
Yeah.
Game on.
Yeah.
That's fucking Hollywood.
I can't lie. But I honestly, like, I love the game. I love the game as a fan. I love to play it. Like, it was an incredible experience. Like, I'll never be anything but grateful for it.
So you would do it all again?
I don't know if I would do it again. Now that I'm out, it's easy to say that, but when you're living in there, it's a strange thing to put yourself through. It really is. I think I would do it differently, but I don't know that I can answer that. I don't know that I would do it again.
It's still fresh.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you could go back and would do it again, you would do it again then. You just might not go in season 8. Is that what you're saying? Or would you not do it if you could go back?
I don't know. Like, if they called me and they're like, we're doing season 8, you can come back and get another chance. Like, I would consider it, but I don't know. It's a lot to go through. Like, to put your life on pause and
don't
leave.
go on season 8. I heard that it's underground and there's trolls.
Yeah, they're
and
filling season 8 with the house with smallpox.
bats.
Yeah.
There's bats everywhere in season 8. And they all have rabies. I don't want you being around no bats.
Season 9 then maybe?
Maybe season 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll think about it.
What was your favorite thing about being in the house? What was the best thing about it? Knowing that every 3 times a week, 1.23 million people were going to watch you on Global. I feel like you loved that.
Yeah, I did love that. I
Yeah.
loved the live shows. I loved like going in to vote, like I vote to evict, and like knowing that for sure people are seeing that. Those moments were really fun. Just as a fan, like just being able to get kind of like that perspective of how it all works was really, really cool. Honestly, connecting with people, like as cheesy as that sounds, like being able to actually like really get to know people in a way that like most of us don't in normal life.
I don't know. It's fair.
That
You're
was
humanitarian.
Really, it was really cool.
You're a good person, right? Like, you're not a manipulator. You're not a bitch. Like, for you to go in there not armed with the tools that most people, like you said earlier, can a good person win the game? I think it depends on the season, right? Like, I think a guy like Tyler Crispin on BB20, he's like a good dude.
Maybe
right?
if you're really lucky, then a good person can win the game.
But then there's
I think
other seasons.
I think in most cases,
Yeah.
I think that you
The
got to tap into
manipulators
some real
manipulate.
shady
Yeah.
parts of yourself.
Like
to
Evil
win.
Dick. But I loved Evil Dick.
But people, that's the thing. And people love the villain. Like even now watching, I'm like, I get why people would want to cheer for Dane because he's probably going to end up being a bit of a villain.
He's a little fucking
Evan cheers
elf.
for Dane. Look at him. He's
Evan,
fist
yeah.
pumping.
We're gonna have to talk about
Evan,
this
yeah.
shit.
Evan's fired.
A good game move is a
Don't worry
good game move. Like I can respect it.
So
but
this is like on a personal tip. I assume that we're going to hang out with Big Brother people in real life. Is that true?
probably.
How am I going to be told to behave around these people? Like, do you want me to knock Dane out and take a couple more teeth out of his face?
No.
Do you want me to pants Anthony and say, how dare you talk like that about Chelsea Bird?
No, because it's, you know, you got to leave it. I think you got to leave it at the door, right? Like whatever happened in there, all has to be forgiven, right? It's a game. So
Can I fuck with one person that we meet?
No.
Oh, let's hope maybe there's one.
I'm over.
Yeah, just one.
in my own head. I'm gonna fuck with Dane.
Fuck with Dane a little bit, but Dane's really likable.
Oh, I'm sure he is, and so am I. But then I'm gonna know that he knows that I know that he knows that he fucking put you out.
All right, do what you want.
Yes.
Do whatever you want.
Yeah, put your teeth in, bro. You got him. That used to drive
I
me
feel like
crazy.
in real
No.
life he's a good dude, but this is the thing, right? About Big Brother, like it's so different because like in real life he might be a good guy because he can't. What can Dane do to me? Nothing.
Right,
But he actually can fuck with you in the game.
right.
It was very hard.
I don't know. I keep going back to that about does a good person win the game? It's weird. It's really weird.
I think the answer is probably no.
Well, you look at past BB seasons, and there's been a few that like fell like kind of like came up through the middle. You know, like Jordan winning.
Right. Yeah.
Like there's not a mean bone in that girl's body.
Yeah.
And she like did she play the best game? No.
Yeah.
But just she won because of circumstance.
Yeah.
And even
And some
maybe
people
like
do.
Nicole.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it happens.
It's like Kim Jong-un coming to power, right?
Yeah.
Because his dad,
It's exactly
his
like
dad
that.
was in charge, and then his older brother that was supposed to be in charge got arrested at Euro Disneyland or Asia Disneyland, and then he wasn't allowed to be in charge. Then he had another brother that they didn't want to be in charge, and then he's just in charge because he's the third in line.
Yeah, well, he killed one of his half brothers.
It's just like Big Brother.
yeah.
It's just like Big
Yeah.
Brother. What was your least favorite thing about being in the house?
I think just like being told what to do and like what you can't do, like being told when to go to bed, being told when to wake up.
Being
Stuff
told
like
you can't bring nation gear into the house, like we tried to sneak past the censors.
Yep.
Bag milk thoughts
Ah.
on nation gear.
Yeah, I was like, we kept watching for it.
I know.
Like, I knew you had it.
I know.
I
Why
didn't
did
think it was
Sam
gonna
get to
get
bring in
through.
her
Took it.
lash brow
Why
hoodie
didn't you
and you
make
couldn't
like
bring in Hope Will
Canadian
Never Die?
swaggy C-shirts?
Because it has to get approved. I mean, I guess I could have, but it has to get approved. So they were supposed to call you guys and ask if it could get approved. So maybe somebody said no.
You know I haven't answered my phone for the number I
Well,
don't know
that's
since
fucking why then.
2007. And that's why I
That's
didn't
why.
make me your emergency contact.
Oh.
Because they knew I'd never answer the phone.
You told me you weren't going to answer the phone.
Well, I was right.
Anyway. Yeah, it was that. It was like being told what to do, what not to do, and like just the boredom. Just like not having anything to do. Not having anything, like just endless amounts of time. That was difficult.
Big question I have that nobody's touched on yet is, do you now, with the benefit of hindsight, feel like you made the appropriate Wendy's order when given the chance?
Good question.
Yeah.
I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah.
I would have gone for a bigger order myself.
No, I got a chicken sandwich and I got a Frosty.
Ooh,
So-
Frosty's a nice touch.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was happy with it.
Okay.
I brought Mark and he got a salad, like a
Well,
Odd
oh,
one,
no.
that
Whoa,
Mark. Who gets a
geez.
salad?
Right?
You can eat salad
Yeah.
any other day of the
Right.
week. I'm assuming they offer salad in the house.
yeah, there's salad
Oh,
available.
yeah, no. Baconator at minimum.
Or just like a couple of JBCs. Come on, bro.
I would ask them
Yeah,
if
how
they
come
could
you didn't
stop
get
at
a
Arby's on the way.
JBCs weren't an option. A Baconator was, so I got a Baconator the one time and then I got a chicken sandwich the other
How
time.
do they not have JBCs?
That's what I thought too.
The one night after watching her
They
eat
don't want
Wendy's,
you.
I went and got Wendy's.
They don't want to
and I
market
had
the
beef.
value meal. The meal. They want you to market the big ticket items.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the President Oodle Noodle talking right there. Don't order spring rolls. Order 4 more pad thais.
Oh.
Other than Chelsea, bag milk, favorite person in the house.
Ooh, yeah. I want to know your guys' perspective.
I honestly don't have a favorite. We were obviously cheering for you.
Thank you. That's nice.
You're out. I don't care anymore.
Really?
Yeah, Meteor can hit the house. I don't
Okay.
mind.
Okay.
I would be the same way.
Yeah, I know Evan he's trying to convert us all to Team Dane. We're not.
To
I have a
Team
big
Dane.
problem with him not putting his teeth in, despite having them. Having a lisp, not a great look, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Does he get subtitled a lot?
No,
Because of his
No,
lisp?
never.
even Eddie
Oh.
didn't.
Really?
Nope.
Huh.
Nope.
I think, like, honestly, like, if, like, as much as whatever he got me out of the house, if Dane gets to the end, then he probably deserves to win. I think he's playing the best game right now.
My favorite guy in the house was Eddie. I liked Eddie.
He was he as big of an outsider kind of in the house as it seemed on TV? It just seemed like he didn't kind of get a fair shake with a lot of the other people.
Yeah, he was. He really, it's like no one ever knew where his head was at. He really wasn't playing the game. And like when he tried to game talk, it was like very confusing and kind of like aimless. So I think people kind of felt that out and were like, what? I'm not going to work with you. And like everybody that he got close to he would get close to the people that were on the block that would go home. So like he got really close with Kaylin and then she left. And we all knew she was leaving that week. So it's like he really missed an opportunity to like create any other game connections. So, but he also said that was his strategy because he really wanted to like lay low and seem like he was a lone wolf. And he's like, if it looks like I'm alone, then no one's going to target me because why bother?
Eddie,
But
for those
that's
who
why
are-
he got out because it's really easy to get somebody like that out because barely any blood gets on your hands, right?
For those
Especially
who
early
work-
on. Those are the easy
Easy
ones.
ones.
to go,
Exactly.
'cause You vote
Yeah.
for the house. You don't put your target on yourself.
Yeah,
Makes
exactly.
sense.
Eddie was a Chinese Canadian national who learned to speak English watching Big Brother.
Yeah.
And when he came
Really?
on, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I did not
And when
know
he
that.
came onto the show, one day you were talking and you were like, I feel really bad for Eddie because even in a house where everyone feels alone, he's legitimately alone. And I hadn't clued in because all I was watching was you. And I'm like, huh. And then I started watching it and you're right. Like I felt really bad for him because in a house where you don't have any of your support network
Mm-hmm.
and people stick out right? It's easy for you to go into a house of like random people because you're you and everybody wants to talk to you, et cetera, et cetera. But if you're like lower on the totem pole and you're like, I'm kind of like a weirdo guy.
Oh, I don't know. That's fair. I don't phrase it like that. No one's better than anybody.
No, okay, that's fair, but you are. And when he was like sitting by himself in the file room, right? And he's like by himself, right? Or he'd like go out into a room and then like nobody would go and talk to him. Like,
Yeah.
My favorite moment of the show, other than you winning HOH, and I celebrated like the Blue Jays won the Super Bowl. I'm out of analogies. I don't know other sports. When you went and permed his hair, right? So there's this one scene where like you took Eddie and you took him out of the kitchen, you took him upstairs and you spent like fun quality one-on-one time with him. Then afterwards he said like, that's like the only time anyone in the house like talked to me like a person. And it wasn't for game and it wasn't to like win anything or it wasn't like that. Like you were just like nice to him.
Yeah, and I found a crimper in the bathroom. I wanted to crimp somebody's hair.
You're a good person.
I just thought in general, you came off looking like really good with the way you interacted with people,
Thanks.
just on a human level.
Thank you.
And I thought just genuinely the niceness that you came across with on TV was a really good look. And speaking of good looks, I just want to go ahead and give a shout out to our friends at Indochino.
Nice. Smooth.
If you are in the market for a new suit, let me tell you how this works, Chelsea. I know you've been in a house.
I'm listening.
I know you've been in the house for 27 days. You probably don't know about our friends at Indochino and the way it works. You head on in, you get your measurements.
Yeah.
They lock it in. You can keep those online. You need a new suit. You just fire them over something. You say, hey, I need a new suit. I just came out of Big Brother Canada. I would like to look sharp. And they're like, cool. We got your measurements on file. You go, you choose your style, you customize that suit, get measured up online or in any of their display rooms. Wanya, you got yourself a fresh suit. Fresh look, looking great, feeling
You
great.
know I don't need a suit. I cut my own hair.
Hell yeah.
The hell would I need a suit for?
If you want to get started, head on over to any of their showrooms or to Indochino.com. Start beautifying yourself. Look great. Feel great. Indochino. Wow. Made to measure. What do you think of that one, Jared?
I'm going
You
there
like
right
that
now.
Bag milk is on point.
Thank you. I've been working on my segues. 2 podcasts a week. I'm going to be a pro at this one day.
Pro.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to talk about some Oilers stuff now, Chelsea. And I want you to stick
Bye.
around. No.
I'm going
Just stay
Indochino and
here.
you guys can fuck right off. Bye.
And,
I'll listen to it, but I don't.
well, you can pipe in here and there.
Of course.
Okay.
We'll
Bonus
talk about
down.
Yessie.
Oh, yes. You had dinner with Yes.
One of us went for dinner with Yessa while you
Oh
were
my
gone.
God.
Yassa and Mikko.
Yeah. I told Chelsea that the longest conversation I had with a woman while she was in the house is with Jordan Eberle's mom.
Oh,
Yes.
Shows you the threat that I
Yeah.
pose when I'm left to my own devices. That was what was the most embarrassing for me, Bag Milk, was I was like, I watched everything and I was so crazy and neurotic. Never once did it come up with her like, did you do anything bad while I was in the house? Because you know I'm a nutless loser who doesn't have the balls to do anything.
No, I just know that you're a good person. You wouldn't do that.
All right.
But did anything happen with his mom?
No.
Oh, good.
No, just like,
She was a kind person.
she was very nice.
Lots of stories.
Jay saw the whole thing.
I did witness the whole thing. There was a connection at some level. Between
I'm
the
sure
two.
there was. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
It was very adorable to watch.
And then Jordan DM'd me the next day.
Yep.
He slid right in.
Slid
Right,
in.
that was a lovely game. Wanya was dropping on Mrs.
Wow.
Everly.
I was like pitching her hardcore for Eberle to resign, which is wildly inappropriate.
Come home, Jordan.
Come on, we need you.
They would say that's tampering, but you have no affiliation to the team.
No.
Nor does the entire Nation Network. For all you
For all you
minds.
legal eagles
legal
listening.
eagles listening.
So switching over to the Oilers, and wait a minute, let's finish this off. Chelsea, you
That's okay,
you
bye.
did a very, very good job.
Thank you.
And you represented Canada well, and you
Thank you.
represented Edmonton well, and you
Thanks.
represented your morals well, and you came out. I was heavy on Twitter. We call ourselves Stans.
Yep. I've seen you. I appreciate it.
And I was like, I deleted all the bad shit that I said on Twitter so that you couldn't see it if you go and look, because I like dragged some people fairly hard.
I screenshotted it all.
I'm
Yeah.
sure that you did. And thank you.
They're in a
Jay.
file.
I have a sassy crew of ladies that we would all yell queen when you would do stuff that was awesome. And that's also how we talk us Stans. If you do something while you're a queen, if you do something bad, you're canceled.
Okay.
We're not going to cancel you. You did a really, really good job in there, and you should hold your head up high.
Thank you. Thanks. It was a really cool experience. So thanks for letting me talk about it.
Please don't go on Big Brother 8.
Okay. I'll go on Big Brother 9.
9.
Oh,
Also happy to know that Chelsea was in the house and therefore one less person that could be responsible for our Twitter account getting locked up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
We
One
might
off
need
the
to, we
list.
might need to leverage your power of celebrity to get that unlocked.
Could you turn your BBCAN Twitter account into the new Oilers Nation
Let's get all the
account?
stands.
Sure.
Stick the stands
No,
on
bring
them.
them over. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, let's segue. Good job.
Thanks.
Oilers talk. Bag milk.
what? There's a game today.
How
4
many
left.
What
Yay?
what is on the docket to cheer for remaining this year?
I'll tell you. 2 things.
Yeah.
Top of mind. Nooch getting to 30. Love Nooch.
Love
Oh,
Love the Nooch.
Love the news.
keep Nooch forever. Some would say.
100%. If you want a t-shirt, speaking of beautifying yourself, that says keep Nooch forever, nationgear.ca.
Just to jump on that. I got one specially made for
I
a very
saw that.
exorbitant price.
Yeah, I
but
saw
I wanted
that.
to be the first to market, and I wore
Cost
it.
more than the actual nude.
Cost more. Yeah, it's about 3 shifts of Nuge it took to pay for this shirt. But I wore it to both games, and everyone's like, yes. Like anyone who saw it loved it.
Of course, how could you not? And the second one is obviously Leon getting to 50.
Yeah.
Oh,
Come on.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Come on.
7 Oilers are going to have career bests this year. 7, right?
I believe so. Sounds right.
And we are missing the playoffs by a margin.
3 players produced 48% of the offense, essentially. Great. Not great.
Luch
Feel
got his
bad about
500th point.
Shout out to Luch. Didn't help me in the Lucic goal draft, but
499 before he became an Oiler. 1 is an Oiler. Good job, Milan. Speaking of Oilers, Jay, you did more for the OEG this weekend than they did, leading a gaggle of Finnish people around town.
A fracas of Finns.
Talk to me.
Yeah, had the honor of hosting 25 fine people from Finland and towns in around the capital region of Helsinki.
So this is like the reverse nation trip where we go somewhere. We do now nation trips where people come here.
Yeah, we partner up with Edmonton Tourism. They ask us to target certain areas, and it happens that we have friends in those areas. So we brought the Swedes in October. And then we worked with our friend Larvinen to bring 25 Finns. And the interesting one, there was 2 guys on this trip that their town is 300 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle.
Jesus.
Yeah, crazy. And like upper Lapland. So these boys,
They call it Lapland?
Lapland. Yeah, that's that area is called
Is
Lapland.
anytime anyone's dancing there a lap dance? Bag milk,
Yeah.
thoughts?
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
You file that one in your pocket.
So yeah, the boys
I'll do that
came
for
and
later.
girls. There was 2 girls on this trip, and we took them around town, took them to some games. These guys brought some serious energy. If any of you saw on social,
Do they think, because they're clapping and cheering and doing all sorts of fancy shit, do they think we're boring how we watch hockey?
Well, we're trying to get Larvin to comment. Yeah, they are shocked at like how quiet we are. How
'Cause he's
we're not
also
getting
super
up and
positive
loud.
and
He was being
classy,
very
too.
super positive, but these guys are doing chants nonstop. The only time they stopped doing a chant was in the 3rd period on the Saturday game because the Oilers were the fun vacuum and sucked all the energy out of the building. Not even the Finns could get excited. But yeah, no, we were walking to the game on Saturday, and we get to the game, and anytime they walk to a rink, they're chanting. That's what they do.
That's cool.
And
Imagine we did that.
I know. It's they're in playoff mode at all times. Like
Interesting.
at all times. And then I get into the building, I check my phone, and some guy, this guy I know I haven't talked to in a while, sends me a text. It's because he heard them from his condo, and he came and recorded them walking down the street chanting.
No.
Oh yeah, it was.
But how did he know that you were? Oh, because of social.
Yeah, because of social.
Like, but how would
yeah.
he tie that back to magic of phones?
Yeah. So Larvinen's kind of connected in the sports community in Finland, so he was able to hook up with Jesse Puljujärvi and
Your favorite Chelsea?
Mikko Koskinen. And we had the amazing honor they came and had dinner with all the Finns.
Wow.
Cool.
So yeah, we got to have dinner. They went, because so the first game so dinner was in between the 2 games. The first game we went to the Oilers store, and I think they set a record for Koskinen jersey sales. Because like every Finn, I swear, bought 3 jerseys. They bought a McDavid, then a Puljujärvi, and a Koskinen.
Sick.
It was insane. So like they had to get jerseys made. They're pulling from stores. They're trying to find inventory so these guys they bought them out, and then they had to make some specially then and there and delivered to them in the 3rd period so they could get their
so
Koskinen
sick.
jersey. But like they love Jesse. They love Mikko Koskinen. Like
Really?
they love him.
Is he also Finnish?
He's also Finnish.
Oh, okay.
They're like
That's really interesting.
so all of them, each one individually at different times for the trip, they'd be like, "So what do you think of Mikko?" I'm like, "Oh, like
Were you honest?
I say we're struggling with him. Like, there's games that he's probably stolen for us, but like, there's a lot of goals that we shake our heads at.
Yeah, I was going to say Finns don't appreciate catching.
Yeah,
quite like we do.
They're not familiar with the glove hand in Finland, but
No one's ever thought to shoot glove side and finish.
But
hockey.
basically, they're telling me like the pecking order of Finnish ice hockey players, and like Koskinen's in like the top 5.
But is that like, who gives a shit?
Well, there's got to be a reason, right? Like,
Yeah,
so
like,
he's
I'm the number one player in
so
Denmark.
he's
It's like
represented
ranking the Jackson 5.
He's represented them internationally. That's the thing, right? So
Yeah.
Mikko's played for him internationally, and he's won for them internationally, and that they put above all else. But like they love him just as much as they love Pecorine, which is insane. The interesting thing that they told me, so they really wanted to like get me to like Koskinen.
And we don't want to, for the record, we're not cheering against.
Oh no.
No.
Like
We're just
and-
not convinced he's fucking.
Oh yeah, well,
3 years.
and they were critical after the 5-1 game. They're like, fuck, like what the hell? Like he had to be better there, and like they're
But we're on the same team.
they're
here.
not.
We want
exactly.
everyone to be.
Yeah,
good.
yeah. They're not biased. If something bad happened, they'll say it was bad. But like they're just giving me some more backstory on Koskinen. So he's from Espoo, Finland, which is just outside Helsinki.
Is it anywhere near lap dance?
It's about a 2-hour flight to lap dance land.
Good land up there. Yeah.
And they told me, so in Espoo they had a elite league team in the Liga, and they had a really bad owner and allowed the team to go bankrupt. So the team got bankrupt and just disappeared. So a few years later, Koskinen got together with a couple other pros and made the investment to get the team back.
This is before the Oilers broke open the vault too.
Yeah, so they resurrected the Espoo team, and now they start. I think they have to start in like League 3, and they have to work their way back up to the main league.
That's cool that he would do that. That shows character.
Yeah, it shows care. It shows that he cares, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it has nothing to do with his glove hand, but just Mikko as a person being able to like go and meet him. I was, very impressed. Very nice guy. Speaks very highly of Edmonton.
Good.
Is and the Finns I was talking to because they're all talking Finnish to each other, say like he actually likes it here and all that good stuff. So it was very exciting here.
I also really respected their dedication to partying.
Oh, geez. Yeah, these guys are insane. They were committed to have a good time all the time. Like all of them, like every time you catch up with them more, they all get 3 hours sleep. It's like living in the Big Brother house, but but they had an endless supply of booze.
And a lot more Finns.
They were going hard all the time.
Were you also going hard with them?
No, I only on Saturday because I was trying to juggle everything because we had a lot of work stuff on the go. So I would stay with them till about 11 or midnight and then kind of set them free and then catch up with them again in the morning.
He had a blast class, Chelsea. Couldn't stay out late.
I know
That's
a
an
few of the
inside joke.
boys upstairs also went to meet up with the Finns on Saturday, and you all put in a shift.
Yeah.
I was getting text messages around 4 a.m. Wanye. They didn't make any sense, but I know the boys were having a good time because the Finns are great to party
4
with.
a.m. Finnish drunk texts.
Oh, well, and before the 4 a.m., Puliarvi came to meet the guys again. Like I said, like the Finns love the Finns. So he came out and hung out, and like there's all these people that want to like talk to Yessi and blah, 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 right? But like he was putting the Finns first. Like he wanted to make sure they were happy. They started doing that chicky chicky chant, and he was doing it with them because that's like their national
Their
team
haka,
chant.
basically.
Yeah, and like he's getting involved. I'm like, God, like meeting Mikko and yes, like they're like just amazing people.
Yeah.
And like he came and spent so much time with them. Came after the morning skate that we went to and like took photos with everyone, signed with everyone, then came for dinner with them, signed everything again, and then came and hung out with us socially as well, like public facing. It was
Unbelievable.
unreal. Yeah, really, really nice guy. His English is okay, I would say, but it's tough not to like this kid. My only knock on him is like he's literally built like this pen. Like he is
Don't click it because Jared will get mad.
So he's gotta-
If
you
you
gotta
click your pen during the podcast because you're nervous because your girlfriend just got off Big Brother and you have to interview her, and you're fucking clicking a pen. Jared and Evan, they'll shoot you looks.
Well,
What do you mean? Like he's little? He's skinny?
He's tall. He's so skinny.
He got
He's got
he
room
got
to
his
fill
hips
out.
replaced while you were gone too.
He did?
Not
Or
replaced.
shaved down.
Yeah, he did just something to kind of. He had pain in his hips because of some kind of buildup, so he got it all cleaned up. So he says
done.
he's feeling good.
I
but
thought he
like,
was huge.
he's tall and just skinny. So he's got kind of like the intel from the Finns because I'm like, hey guys, like I want to believe in this kid.
Yeah.
He obviously seems like an amazing person, and on the World Junior stage, amazing. What's going on? They're like, well, do you see how skinny he is right now? I'm like, yeah. They're like, Line looked exactly like him 2 years ago. Now look at Line. Like Line is developed.
Yeah, but
So-
Line was skinny like that at 18. Isn't Yesa 21?
Yes,
but I'm saying so. There's like Lonnie became a man quicker in terms of
I
like.
got you. So he hasn't become a man yet.
Yeah, he hasn't filled out yet. So they're like, that's kind of like the missing thing. Like he's a late bloomer.
Sure.
Yeah, Jesse will turn 21 in May.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so he's
Yes,
a baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
He's so young, and that's the unfortunate thing, right? So, like, I'm still gonna believe. I'm gonna believe what the Finns told me because I had such a good time with them, and they seemed very trustworthy. Yeah, the Finns, man. Today I had to go pack them up. Took them for lunch, farewell lunch, and then one big kumbaya hug and one more chicky chacky chant in front of the hotel, and they're gone home. It's sad.
You love these international tours.
Honestly, man, you do. Like, fuck. Jared will attest to this because I was an emotional mess at one point at the Pint. You meet these guys, right? And you just similar, like you just connect with them, right? Because like they're there on vacation, right? And you just want to be a good host.
Yeah.
So you get to know these guys, right? And some of them deeper than others based on kind of who's comfortable sharing what. But like my one boy, and I'm gonna go. He
This is the chap you put on Insta?
Yeah, Sammy. He's from Tempera, the team's Tempera and Tampere, Finland. So that's the team. They have Oilers colors.
Nice.
Yeah, and they're called the Axeman.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So it's got
just like the
Viking
real
and Oilers merge. Like these are my two loves together, like peanut butter and tuna. It's amazing. But yeah. So then we bro down more because he just has so many questions, and he got me into being a Tempera fan. He's sending me a jersey of their Wayne Gretzky.
Sick.
Cool.
Which is cool. And because Finland's a small country, they're also going to get it signed because one of the guys knows the guy. He golfs with the guy.
Sick.
The grade 8. Not the grade 8. The grade 8, they call him there. Anyways. So fuck. We're sitting there talking, and all of a sudden, like, he starts telling me, like, he's got a kid back home who's become super popular in Finland because his hockey knowledge he's 5 years old, is amazing. He knows every player on every team, what position, what way they shoot, like height, weight, everything. He's just a database. And it's caught fire in Finland to the point where he's sponsored by CCM.
To do what?
He does play hockey, but like he's just because he's a personality. Like he's been on TV, he's been on this. So like you hear about this, that's super cool. And then I don't know if should I say this story, Jared? I should. Fuck it. Honestly. So we start getting talking, and he starts telling me about like what's going on with himself. And this guy, he wears glasses, and he's got this like eye condition where he's slowly going to end up being blind, like, and they can't fix it. So we get deep, and he tells me that because we've connected at some, and I just start fucking crying immediately because like I love this kid. And I had to like walk away, and Jared's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Oh man, like this guy, like," and then like you hear that, and you just like, I'm like this. I don't know. I could start crying right now because it's so emotional. Like you connect with these guys, and it's so sad to see them go.
Yeah.
But like. The beautiful thing is we're going to come back. I'm going to Tempera.
Nice.
Obviously going to watch a game with the boys. Larvinen's already setting up some things there for us.
Sick.
But, you can, and even Larvinen, like you hear this guy. This guy is just like, he loves sports. He loves Finland, and he's built a living off of that. He gets flown around the country to watch if it's Finnish handball tournaments or basketball or ice hockey. He is there in his wig, in his Suomi jersey, and he's chanting and bringing people together. Like these people, like they're all wearing Larvinen hats. Like they love this guy.
He's figured out merchandising. This guy.
He's figured out. I've got I don't know what you call this thing. A selfie.
Pop socket.
What's that?
A pop socket.
I got a pop socket that says Larvinen approved.
Yeah.
He also stickered the Nation truck with a Larvinen approved sticker today.
Sick.
Which is awesome. But yeah, no, like
this is the job you were born to do, man. Like having gone on Kentucky's and having been hosted by people, we've seen the difference between like the good one in Asia and then like Tara over in Europe.
Yeah.
And you understand being in the travel bubble.
Yeah.
So you understand that like going to Max, if you're from Finland, is so exciting.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you're like the ultimate Edmonton Patriot and Oilers fan.
Yeah.
And like, you're the guy to bring people to Edmonton to man by man. Like, if you do this for 10 years, there'll be 1,000 people out there raving about Edmonton internationally.
That's
and
the mission.
It's a tipping
Yeah,
point.
and
That's
like
the
what
mission.
a rewarding gift for you too. These people come, they're on vacation, they're excited to be here to watch hockey. They're so open, and like what a gift for you that you've made these connections with these people. Like it's real. Like watching you talk about it, it's really real.
I honestly actually do love it, and Larvinen already said he's 30 people have inquired about when is the next Edmonton trip?
Sick.
So we're on a mission to try to bring 50. The Swedes are on a mission to try to bring 50.
We're gonna go get Stavanger locked in.
All this content we've created about, it was all this content about the Swedes that led to the Finns, and now all this content about the Finns is potentially leading to a group of Germans.
There's this team in Norway, in Stavanger, called the Oilers that we found online, and they have the same logo, but they're green and white. And we're like, we got to fucking hook up with these people too. And I DM them, and never message me.
Yeah, these Oilers are actually in the playoffs, and maybe after April 6th, if they're still around, we should talk about them a little bit more and try to see and try to connect that bridge, because it would be unreal.
I think bringing international groups of hockey fans to Edmonton, like, think about it. They already like Koskinen. They already like Puljujärvi. You go to Vegas because you like what? Gambling and fucking fountains at the Bellagio. Yeah. It stands to reason that the Oilers could drive a lot of tourism to Edmonton, because you've got people in all these remote countries that are heavily invested in a particular player that has a short career. They would come to Edmonton to watch Koskinen play.
It was amazing. Like they, a few of them showed up on the first. So on the first game day, which is essentially their first day here, some of them had jerseys. One of the guy had a personalized jersey with 30. I'm like, "Are you a goalie, man?" He's like, "No, it's like, this is my birthday jersey." It was. Four of them were a group bought this guy this trip for his birthday.
Cool.
So there was a birthday on the trip, and there was like
That's
one other
Finnish bag,
one other jersey and one other hat, and then we went to the game because when can we go to the store? Like these guys may have been Oilers. They're definitely Koskinen fans and Puljujärvi fans because they're Finns, but like these guys wanted to like get in, and like then the next day just like that. We go walking around. All of them are in jerseys. All of them are in hats.
That reminds me of Jay Downton at any sporting event anywhere in the world. Head to toe shit.
It was awesome. Like, it was just wicked everywhere we went. And then it was, we'd go march. We'd go to the brew house for the pregame, and they'd be marching and chanting, and everyone's honking at them. Because, like, they're like, the Finns. I took them for lunch today. And they wanted pizza, so I took them to a local pizza establishment.
That doesn't pay, so they shan't be mentioned.
They shan't be mentioned.
Don't talk about brands.
And the GM helps us out, and he comes to talk to me. He's like, "So, like, I know who these guys are." I'm like, "Cool." Like, he's like, "The Finns." Like, "Thank you for bringing the Finns." Like, I've been following their journey. I'm like, "That's awesome." So, like,
because you're documenting.
Well, you're documenting. It has an impact on the people that came on the trip, and that's the mission we want to provide. And Edmonton does such a good job because everyone thinks it's crazy. There's a bunch of people from Finland here.
This is what tourism can do for a city. When someone comes to your city from another place and they go, "God damn, Bonnie Doon Mall is nice," you hold it in higher regard.
Well, exactly, right? So like but also provides civic pride, because then all of a sudden these people are like, "Oh my God, like there's a group of Finns here."
And
so
they
like
it here.
They help them out. They take care of them. Like all the Finns would say, like, "Everyone here is so nice. I don't get it. Why is everyone so nice?" So like, it's
because we're all playing them.
Yeah, we're playing the long game. Yeah. And then so like they are having the crazy time, and then anyone who interacts with them thinks it's crazy as well. So it's amazing, kind of the impact it creates.
That's cool.
So, anyways, I could talk at nauseum about this, but it's truly amazing. I love it. Like, you get to see Edmonton through random people's eyes, and they're constantly excited. Oilers lose 5-1. They're just like, "Jay, don't worry, it's just hockey." And then we go hit the hotel and start anew. Like, it's all good. Like, go head out the town. Like,
this is what like 12 of 13 years of the Decade of Darkness plus 3's done. Like, Jay's had to bring in fans from other cities who just like going to games and being alive to find ways to enjoy.
It's the only way to be excited. And I won a free barbecue. Larvin won a contest on customer or fan appreciation night, and gave me a $1,700 barbecue.
Sick.
If that ain't karma, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Let's call it a week. Real life podcast. See you next time.